It is the year 1180 BC. For a girl named Miriam, growing up in a stone house above the Jezreel Valley, summer afternoons bring a specific terror. When the wind blows from the north, she hears the rumble of wheels on packed earth and the clink of bronze. It is the sound of an occupation that has paralyzed the Israelites for 20 years, driving them off the open roads and into hiding. The source of that rumble belongs to a king named Jabin of Hazor. But Jabin is a dynastic title, much like Pharaoh or Caesar. It represents a massive, entrenched institution that has been grinding down the northern tribes of Israel for generations. Hazor itself is a sprawling superpower. Spanning 200 acres, it sits astride the international highway carrying trade between Egypt and Babylon. The walled city houses up to 20,000 people and commands total authority over the surrounding kingdoms. To enforce that authority, Hazor relies on General Sisera and a terrifying tactical advantage: 900 iron chariots. Iron represents the absolute cutting edge of ancient military technology, and the Canaanites hold a strict regional monopoly on its production. Not a single blacksmith can be found in Israelite territory. The Canaanite monopoly on advanced weaponry engineers a culture of total submission. Unarmed and exposed on the flat valley floors, the Israelites learn that survival means staying quiet and staying out of sight. Somewhere south of Miriam's village, far from the heavy machinery of Hazor, a woman named Deborah sits under a single palm tree. She listens to the daily disputes of local farmers, maintaining a quiet, steady order in a fractured country. She holds an unprecedented triad of offices in ancient Israel: judge, prophet, and warrior. In Hebrew, her name translates to "be," and rabbinic tradition refers to her as a woman of fire, a leader dispensing sharp, decisive guidance to a population that has nowhere else to turn. Deborah issues a command to an Israelite military commander named Barak: assemble 10,000 unarmored farmers and march them to Mount Tabor. Tabor is a rounded peak rising 400 meters out of the flat Jezreel Valley, with sides too steep for heavy chariots to ascend. It offers tactical high ground. Barak refuses to go unless Deborah walks beside him. Commentators often read this as cowardice, but it is the calculated realism of an experienced warrior. Barak knows exactly what 900 iron chariots do to thousands of unarmored farmers on an open plain. He is looking at a massacre. Deborah agrees to accompany him, but she sets a narrative trap. Because Barak conditioned his march, she prophesies that the ultimate glory of the empire's defeat will not belong to him. The total collapse of Hazor's military machine will end up in the hands of an unknown woman. On the day of the battle, 10,000 Israelite farmers stand on Mount Tabor, looking down at a horizon-to-horizon wall of 900 iron chariots waiting on the valley floor. Deborah gives the signal, and the unarmored militia charges down the slope, directly toward the iron. Before the two forces collide, the sky cracks open. An unseasonal, violent storm breaks over the mountains. Torrents of water pour off the surrounding slopes and empty directly into the flat plain below. The Kishon River, a dry scar in the earth moments earlier, violently overflows. The flash flood instantly turns the hard-packed dirt of the valley floor into an inescapable mud trap for Canaanite machinery. Chariot wheels sink, horses panic. The Israelite militia, highly mobile and unburdened by heavy armor, sweeps down into the mud. They easily overtake the bogged-down Canaanite forces. The heavy iron that made the Canaanites invincible becomes the exact mechanism that pulls them into the earth. The empire's greatest technological advantage proves to be a fatal design flaw. Seeing his army slaughtered, General Sisera abandons his chariot. The terror of the northern tribes for 2 decades is now a solitary man running on foot, lungs burning, fleeing miles away from the battlefield in absolute panic. He aims for the encampment of Heber the Kenite. The Kenites are nomadic master blacksmiths, and Heber holds a formal neutrality treaty with the king of Hazor. By the cold logic of geopolitics, these tents are the only safe haven for a fleeing Canaanite general. A woman named Jael intercepts him at the edge of the camp. Deliberately violating her husband's treaty, she offers Sisera asylum inside her own tent. Under the patriarchal codes of the ancient Near East, A woman's private quarters provide a strict wall of protection that pursuers will not easily breach. Sisera asks for water. Instead, she gives him warm, fermented goat's milk. High in lactose-derived sugars and rich in tryptophan, the milk triggers his body to rapidly convert amino acids into serotonin and then into melatonin. To a general crashing from severe adrenaline and dehydration, this is a heavy biochemical sedative. Jael weaponizes the sacred laws of ancient hospitality and the limits of human biology. She neutralizes a heavily armored commander simply by letting him exhaust himself and offering him a drink. The dim tent falls silent. The sedative takes full effect, and the commander of 900 iron chariots falls into a deep, defenseless sleep on the rug. Jael does not reach for a sword. She picks up the ordinary wooden tools she uses every single day to pitch and strike her nomadic home: a long tent peg and a heavy workman's mallet. She kneels beside him and places the sharp point against his temple. For a split second, an ordinary civilian hesitates, holding the life of an empire's leader in her hands. If she does not swing, the occupation continues. The heavy wooden mallet descends. A 20-year military occupation ends on the floor of a goat hair tent. The geopolitical leverage of a massive superpower is entirely dismantled by a housewife. Minutes later, Barak arrives at the camp, breathless and sword drawn. He steps inside the tent, sees the warlord dead on the rug, and lowers his unused blade. He realizes Deborah's prophecy is complete. The final victory has been seized by a stranger. A day's ride away, Sisera's mother stands at a lattice window. She peers down an empty road, listening to the soothing logic of her noble ladies, expecting her son to return with captured Israelite women and dyed garments. She waits for a spoils train that will never arrive. Israel rests for a full generation. 40 years later, Miriam, the 11-year-old girl who hid from the sound of chariots, stands in her doorway as a mother. She watches her own daughter run freely down the open highways, accompanied only by a quiet wind from the north. The heaviest human institutions, backed by the most advanced technology, are fragile. They shatter when ordinary people step forward, refuse to yield, and strike with the exact simple tools already resting in their hands.
If you enjoyed watching this video, do like the video and please subscribe to Jesus Tell Tales channel for more such videos in the future.